I told you we'd keep on top of this shooting issue, right? We told you we would. Now, I'm not trying to be a Nostradamus of any kind, but when the writing's on the wall, you got to admit that the writing's on the wall. Now, we're going to play something for you. I recorded this nearly 6 hours ago, long before the news reported that the shooter was dead. Just take a listen real quick, and then I'll be right back to explain something to you.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Listen, hey, Marlon, don't be mad at me, man. I had to go ahead and download the video because I want them to see this in entirety. Listen, Marlon, you just said 5 hours ago this was going to happen. And guess what? Breaking news about 10 minutes ago, Robert Card, the guy up there in Maine that did the mass shooting, has been found dead. Yeah, he's been found dead. But Marlon just predicted it 5 hours ago. So Marlon, my guy, I can't wait till the rest of it come out to make sure that everything that you said is factual. I believe you. I do. Because see, I'm the kind of person that if people like you tell me that a mosquito can pull a plow, guess what I'm going to do? Hit you up.
My prediction, this shooter is going to end up turning up dead, either by suicide or by a cop's hand. And before too long, you're going to see a manifesto, a note, a letter, something. And eventually they're going to link him back to something to do with the right. Just watch. See if I'm wrong. I also predicted that they would throw a shooting in here somewhere. I said this 3 months ago. I said it again 2 months ago. And I said it again a month ago. Lo and behold, distraction shows up, shooting. Hear nothing about him, can't be found. All of a sudden, here's a letter. And you know what else is going to say? He's dead. That way, trail ends. No questions to be asked. I don't like being right, but when I am, I am.
Fox News has now confirmed that the suspect in the Maine mass shooting, Robert Card, has been found dead.
Okay. Exactly what I said would happen, happened. They need to close off every bit of a competitive storyline that they can. What do you have to do? Kill the one person that could say a different narrative. Now, there's a whole bunch of things you could say about what just happened. From the time, the event, what's happening outside of the event, who he is, his motives. You have a whole gamut of things that you can bring to the table here. But let's break this down piece by piece so I can show you people exactly what the plan was. Mr. Card. The new narrative was that he was a gun instructor. Never heard that before. All of a sudden, he's a gun instructor. He's got a gun. So you got to make sure you tell people that the narrative is, see, these people who are pro-gun are the ones that will do all the killing and harm America. And then they will be so cowardless that they will go and kill themselves. You can also push the narrative and see guns are the bad thing. We got to make sure we push this narrative to get rid of them. And who do you put in front of people? You can't put Bumbling Joe because Joe won't be able to put the message out nearly as good as the cackler in hen in Kamala Harris. You see, they put her out in front long before she got the news that he was dead. What did she say? Oh, we got to make the streets safer by becoming just like Australia.
It does not have to be this way, as our friends in Australia have demonstrated.
Gun grabbing. You never let a good crisis go to waste. I predicted, just based on how things are with this government, that he would be dead long before you even saw sniff. And for one, you don't even know whether or not he is actually dead. If it's him, we have no record other than some still shots of this person. It is a great way to create whatever narrative they want, paint him in whatever way they need to, and to come up with whatever reasoning they have to with no blowback. Who is going to deny it? Who? You already put out the thought process that he was crazy. He was hearing voices, MK Ultra. You could hear all kinds of, he was insane. But he shouldn't have owned a gun. Look at the gun laws in Maine. Oh my gosh, so free. We need to tighten it up. What best way to make somebody do something than to create fear for them to do it? They've just succeeded in doing that. What else? People who own guns are more likely to be crazy. So what do you do then? You put a caveat. You turn your guns in, and if you don't, it must be a sign that something's wrong with you. You must have some sort of nefarious intent to not want to turn in your gun. I mean, after all, what sane person wouldn't want to keep everybody safe by turning in your gun? And if you don't want to turn in your gun, you must be flagged. We'll go through all of your history and see exactly what kind of person you were. Any trauma, anything at all, we can paint you with a brush broad enough to make you crazy. You may not be put in the same category where you might be a killer, but the potential is sure there. I mean, look at Mr. Card. His potential was hidden. Who knows? He went to war. That's why we need to make the army a little more pliable. Weaken some of the training regimens, because the training regimen is what makes people crazy when they leave the military. When you look at this thing, they are tackling it from such a broad perspective that they can put any new law they want on this one. Crazy because of the military, change the military. Crazy because of guns, take away guns. Hearing voices related to guns, related to the military. Anybody who doesn't want to comply must fit that category, and therefore they must be branded as a threat. So here's what might take place. We want to become like Australia, Kamala says. Now, mind you, this is the same woman who had no problem putting away people for truancy. If you think gun ownership is something that she ain't gonna have a problem with, think again. We want to be like Australia. Turn your guns in on your own. And if you don't turn your guns in, we'll take it as a sign that you have something up your sleeves, and then we'll come arrest you. But don't worry, it's completely voluntary. It's voluntary, don't worry. You can do it if you want, but if you don't, we have a way to make sure that you never have freedom again. Now, Mr. Card's case is a little bit weird because he came out of nowhere, just randomly decided to go kill people. Said he heard voices. We've heard about MK Ultra before. Could he have been a victim of MK Ultra? Don't know. But you have to be able to do something to the person that you're trying to vilify in order to make sure that what they do applies to the population in general. Blue collar worker, making ends meet, things aren't going his way, and like I've said in that video, they're going to paint him as a right winger. The economy's crashing, blame Biden, loses his mind, been in the military, has gun experience, been training people with guns. I'm not saying that this is exactly what happened. But when I look at this just by inspection alone, it adds up, just not the way the media is telling me it does. The insane part of all of it is that there's still going to be people that get on board with it and say, yes, more gun rules. We need more, we need more, we need more, because they are for the government having more control there. They don't want the government involved in reproduction, but they sure want you in protection. They're willing to send billions and billions of dollars in protection services to other countries, but not the U.S. Ukrainians are fighting back against an enemy. Send them guns. Military assault type weaponry. Send them. Oh, look, the people in Gaza need. Send them guns too. Oh, look, Israel. Send them guns too. American people, take yours away. There's so much shooting, terrorists everywhere. Take your guns away from the people who need to protect themselves. Arm everyone else. Destroy you. It's nothing new. It's not something that they've just come up with. This has been going on for a while. But this particular case, I think, will end up being the real milestone on which they can paint and put their whole project together. The reasoning is this: Maine, low when it comes to gun rights, is very open. They don't put a whole bunch of caveats on the Second Amendment. Pretty fair. Oh, look, a shooting. We need to clamp down. Democrat run at a time. She'll kowtow to the rules. And you'll see Maine fall by the wayside and give in to the changes to the Second Amendment. And pretty soon they'll have all 50 states on board with it. Some way, shape, and form, some kind of gun restriction. What happens as a result? One gun restriction act leads to another gun restriction act, to another restriction act, to another restriction act. That's first phase. Second phase. People are unhappy with that result. So they go and they decide they're going to change things by voting next year to put someone in who will uproot all that crap and do things the right way. Now, I've said this before, something will take place, whether foreign or locally, to make things have to be a certain way here around the time of you casting your ballot. This case already yielded the news saying to you out loud this: lockdown. Did you hear that word? Lockdown. There was another time that they put this lockdown into place. They know you won't fall for it twice. They cannot give you the second time around to make you shut up and stay home. What's the next level of fear that they have to put in you? You could die, and not only from something that made you there's someone out there, crazy man, a madman, and for that reason, for your own safety, we're going to be on lockdown. And we can't find him. It'll be a 5-day manhunt. It just so happened that it happens around the time that everyone's going to cast their ballots, vote, change their minds. No, you can't. You can't go out. There's a crazy man in almost every state now that's about to. It's systematic. The same people that push J4 and J6 are the same people that are all over the states right now, ready to murder you. Do you remember Maine? He was a right-winger. He was a gun instructor. Close time for you to change the regime. We have to have a lockdown. We have to declare some sort of martial law. You don't have to believe me. Heck, you could call me crazy, tinfoil hat, whatever you want. But I'm going to stick to something that's been working for me. When I see something, I believe it because my own eyes showed it to me. 6 hours ago, at the time of recording this video, 6 hours prior, I said he would show up dead. Bam! Shows up dead. Coincidence? Come on, people. Come on. You think that's coincidental? The one person who could uproot the entire narrative is gone. That's coincidental? You do a whole drill of him going missing, can't find him, and you put the whole city on lockdown. That's coincidental. No, it's practice. This is practice. They are prepping for next time. Because if you buy this, they can sell it to you again, just repackaged. Whole nother selling point, different colors, but you'll buy it again. Because the alternative is too far-fetched to believe. You mean the government will go so far to maintain power over you that they're willing to kill citizenry? Do you need to look any further than 9/11? Do you not honestly believe that if they want something passed badly enough, that your life is expendable? To the tune of 3,000 people in one fell swoop, and they got one very important act to spy on you passed, the Patriot Act. You don't think to make you even more weak and take away your one last bastion of self-defense that they're willing to wipe you out first? Or at least threaten it? If I'm trying my best. I'm trying to turn a new leaf, to not excoriate people too badly. But y'all are making it really hard. You're making it very hard for me not to excoriate you, because here's the problem. You could see them doing this stuff. Every single shooting, they lie to you about stuff. to push a narrative. This person used an AR, this person, and you find out nothing of the sort happened. They have to be the ones to tell you how the story goes. And they have to tie up loose ends. Look, they even will make movies about it. They will make movies telling you what their method is, and you will look at it and be entertained. They had an entire regime of these three-letter agencies that went to work with Hollywood to make this possible. And you still don't believe that they're capable of this? Look, whether this man was a victim of MK Ultra or not, whether you believe that or not, is inconsequential. It's inconsequential because what their result is will still affect you. And that's the plan. Mr. Card is just another one in a long line of scapegoats. You are the target. Your freedom is the object that they want in their hands. At this point, we are on the battlefield of attrition when it comes to our rights, our belief system, and whether or not what you have in your hands is worth keeping or giving up. I mean, the battle will always be one of the mind of whether or not you give in or don't give in. But at the end of the day, they're not stopping because of your inability to see it. They will only stop when you stop them. They couldn't, like I said, they couldn't put Bumbling Joe to relay a message about Australia. Not that Kamala Harris is the most affluent speaker out there. The difference is when she says something, it's not very difficult to fully understand. Yeah, it's word salad, but compared to Joe, I think it's easier to learn it from Harris. But the other side of it is they use her because she's a notorious person when it comes to taking away rights. She's versed in it. She spent a lot of her early career doing it to people. So it makes sense. You put it in the hands of the one who can carry the ball the best. Look, if I'm at the 1 yard line in football and I have a choice to give the ball to, let's see, the refrigerator, Jerome Bettis, or a wide receiver that I have never heard of before. It's only 1 yard I need. Do I run the ball or do I pass it? What it would depend on is the QB. And then I look at the line. I only have 30 seconds to make my decision. Just the play clock. I got like 2 seconds on the game clock itself. The play clock is 30. I got 2 seconds left on the clock. I got one play to make. And if I get this touchdown, I win. Now they load the box, right? They load the box so you can't run the ball. Now you could put in the refrigerator Perry, but the odds of him getting stopped are pretty high. You could put in Jerome Bettis, really good runner, but the odds of him getting stopped are pretty high because they got the line stacked. Or you can fake the run and throw it to a wide receiver. You don't know which one will work. You're banking on two things. The defense doesn't see what you're doing, and the person you're handing the ball to will complete the job. In this case, the team with the ball are the Democrats. They couldn't hand it to Joe. They couldn't hand it to nobody else. They gave it to Kamala Harris. She's not fully dependable, but the O-line is ready and the D-line is showing they're ready for run. And she's a pass catcher. Are you going to let her get the touchdown? Because they're banking on you just not being prepared. They are banking on you being so focused on the run that you ignore the option for the pass. This thing is very, very convoluted, but at the same time, it's not. They are intent on taking away what makes America, America. We're not talking about the moral side. They already took that away a long time ago. We gave that up forever ago. The last bastion right now is your choice to not go along with that. They're trying to take that from you now. You're going to let them take it without a fight? And I'm not talking about the militia type fight. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your compliance. They're going to put you in a position to be afraid. Afraid of what they can do to you and afraid of what they can take. Before too long, they're going to give you an option. And it's not going to be a pretty one. They gave you one in 2020 when you could either cough or take a needle. That's not going to work twice, and they know it. Now, the option is this. This is more crazy, though. You stay home or you get shot. Sounds a lot like Hitler, doesn't it? Hey, look, again, tinfoil hat wearers, come on in. The people who believe in MK Ultra, come on in. Because I used to not believe y'all, but man alive, I don't think I can not believe you now. I have to believe you. Because nothing else makes sense. Nothing. Nothing makes sense. So your options are clear. They can eventually give you the option to comply or die. I suggest you choose wisely, because if you pick wrong, it ain't just about your freedom. This is about your kids' freedoms too. And if you say you care about the kids, act accordingly.